Hey everybody, Alex from SeemsGoodMagic.com here, and we're doing another Swiss Battle for Zendikar draft. Okay, we opened Nguyen Dar. Definitely a powerful card. It might actually just be the card worth taking here. Like, I could take Valakut Predator, which is a great card in any red deck. I could take Mist Intruder, which is a great card for processing decks. Courier Griffin, which is like a fine card for blue-white flyers. Not really too many archetypes outside of that. I mean, the problem with first picking Nguyen Dar is that it really is only good in the blue-white deck. I guess you could splash Nguyen Dar. But there's also like Myers Malice. I don't think this is the first pick for like a Pro Tour because it's two color, but I do think it is certainly the strongest card in this pack. So I'm going to take it because of that. Okay. Follow-up pick. We've got Spawning Bed, Culling Drone, Incubator Drone, Rising Miasma. Could take the Incubator Drone. I like Incubator Drone a lot. Could take the Spawning Bed. It doesn't take up a slot in the deck, which is nice. I would like to cut blue cards if I could, but since you almost always play 18 lands, running Spawning Bed is really nice. I think I'm going to take Spawning Bed here. I like Incubator Drone a lot, and like I said, I would like to cut blue to more likely make the Nguyen Dar work, but I actually think Spawning Bed is just a fantastic card. It's very nice to be able to run 18 lands and have one be as useful as Spawning Bed can be. Pass an Oron Reef Hydra. This is a powerful card. In blue and white, we have Smite the Monstrous, Courier Griffin. I mean, I would still like to be on the Nguyen Dar plan. I think Oron Reef Hydra is definitely a strong card, but I'm pretty tempted to just take Courier Griffin here. There's also Ulamog's Nullifier. Good card in blue-black. I think I like the Griffin more than the Smite here. If you're playing blue and white, you typically want to be evasion.deck, and Courier Griffin is great for that, so let's take the Griffin. Another powerful green card in Brood Monitor. We do have Encircling Fissure, though, which not only is a powerful card, but is going to interact very positively with Nguyen Dar. It's an excellent card to have in blue-white, definitely. Probably best in blue-white, since you're just constantly attacking from above and then just completely turning off their attack. Can be really strong. We're going to take Encircling Fissure here. I think Brood Monitor is the strongest card here by a long shot. Desolation Twin. Well, Desolation Twin is good, but pretty expensive. I think we're looking at Adverse Conditions, Tightening Coils, Oracle of Dust. I think Adverse Conditions and Tightening Coils are both very good for blue-white flyers. Tightening Coils, I would say, is better in blue-white flyers. Adverse Conditions is going to be better with Nguyen Dar. And like I said, it's also just very good in blue-white. I think, like I said, Tightening Coil is better for the blue-white archetype. Adverse Conditions is also very good for the archetype, and we have Nguyen Dar, though, which I think kind of gives Adverse Conditions the edge here. So it's also uncommon, and Tightening Coils is common, so we have a better shot at seeing Tightening Coils later. Take the conditions. All right, well, like I said, better shot later, and there we go, Tightening Coils. Also, some powerful green cards in here, a Devastator. Nothing else besides the Tightening Coils that really fits our deck well. Okay, here I'm okay with taking Sandstone Bridge. I think it's a good utility land. There's a Boiling Earth, which would also be good, but would require a red splash, which with the Spawning Bed is going to be more difficult. I think if you're planning to play Spawning Bed, unless you have quite a bit of fixing, you really don't want to branch out of more than two colors. We're going to take Sandstone Bridge over Scour from Existence. I typically don't main deck Scour. It's a fine sideboard card to have, but I think Sandstone Bridge is just absolutely going to make the deck, so I'll take it. Okay. I like Incubator Drone here. It just puts a bunch of bodies out there. I think Cliffside Lookout's fine, but no, we don't really need it, I don't think. And Rush of Ice is also fine. It works well with Noyandar, but I feel like you end up seeing more Rush of Ice than you do Incubator Drone. Let's not overlook the late out number. Could be that red is open, but we're still getting very good blue and white picks, so we're going to take the drone here. All right, Shadow Glider, obvious pick here. Just auto in all the time when you're playing blue-white, so definitely taking that. All right, Tandem Tactics is actually just a perfectly acceptable card. Retreat to Coral Helm, okay, not that great, I don't think. But Tandem Tactics could definitely be a trick that we end up running. I like it. Gaining life in these decks is really important. You're trying to race from above, so any extra life gain can really be the determining factor. Let's take Felidar Cub here. Would prefer to not play it. All right. Envoy, I think, will take over Cascade. Also would prefer to not play it, but I think it's uncommon. It's fine. It's a decent beater. I don't really think it's what a blue-white flyer deck wants, but it could also be a sideboard card against hyper-aggressive decks. I think we're just going to let somebody else be in green, so we're going to just pass the Brood Hunter Worm and the Mire, to be honest. I don't even care if people play Mortuary Mire. I don't think it's that good. We're going to cut white here, take the gift. Pretty unlikely to play it. Last pick, Prism Array. That's actually kind of funny. This card is not completely unplayable. You do have to make it pretty much 4-color plus to get any sort of great value out of it, but I mean, I guess you really do want to be 5 colors so you can at least scry after you've run out of counters, but that's okay. Ooh, easy Coastal Discovery here. Hope to wheel the Courier Griffin. Woodland Wanderer is a fantastic, powerful card, by the way, but we're clearly in blue-white at this point, so yeah, Coastal Discovery is just going to be extremely strong here. It's amazing on its own. It's going to work amazingly well with Noyandar. This deck is very much coming together nicely. Hope to wheel the Courier Griffin. Like I said, I would settle for a Smite wheel. Kozilek's Channeler is great. I don't think that's going to wheel. Coastal Discovery, it is. Ooh, Brood Butcher is very strong. Another Envoy, another Adverse Conditions. Currently rocking 6 creatures, 8 if we count Coastal Discovery and Encircling Fissure. I guess you could count Adverse Conditions as a creature. I typically don't. Ondu Greathorn is fine. It's not great, though, as the name suggests. And I think it's actually fine for a deck like this. First Strike gives it nice blocking. McKinley Patrol, not really what I'm looking for. I don't really want to hate pick here, but Brood Butcher is very strong. I don't really want a second Envoy either, I don't think. Could play blue-white aggro, but the problem with blue-white aggro is your Tightening Coils get a lot worse when you run cards like Expedition Envoy. That is certain. I guess I can take a second Adverse Conditions. It's not giving up much for it. There is a chance we play 2 Adverse Conditions. So I guess we'll take it. Okay. Wavewing Elemental, I think, is just the pick here. There's a Castigator, there's another drone. I think we'll hope to wheel the drone, but Wavewing is right up this deck's alley, so taking it. All right. Tightening Coils number 2, definitely still what we're in for. I think we're just going to take out Gift, Cub, and Envoy for now, just because we're still looking for thematic archetypal cards. So Tightening Coils, definitely correct here. Okay. Shot at another Wavewing Elemental. We have Evolving Wilds, and we have Rush of Ice. I think we want second Wavewing. Definitely just all in on a ton of flyers. Granted, we're not going to need more than 2 Wavewings. We might actually play more, I guess, but I just really think this is a great finisher. We're getting to the point where we can almost have all flyers. I guess that's not true at all, but if we can find some more flyers, I'd like a better fleet if possible. And Rush of Ice is also good, but I think Wave Wing is going to win us more games. Evolving Wilds seems a little bit less necessary in here, but it's of course going to be good with the Wave Wing. That's strange. Okay. I can take Exert Influence. Stealing a 2-power creature is perfectly acceptable. It also works well with Noyandar. And we're not giving up anything at all, really. Another Tandem Tactics, which doesn't seem necessary. We'll take the Influence. If I can find a way to splash a third color, I will, but even stealing 2-power creatures is fine. All right, Stonehaven Medic is typically pretty good for these decks, but I think we're just going to take the Channeler here. Works better alongside our Awaken spells, and a 4/4 body is just very good. Granted, we're going to need some more early game, but I think double Tightening Coils gives us some kind of nice early protection. Might have a shot at seeing more Stonehaven Medics later. All right, a bit of a miss here. I think we're just going to take and play Fertile Thicket. What's nice about it is it finds you other on-color cards, and it's going to work well with Exert Influence. And given that our curve is a bit more top-heavy, I think running a tapped land that's off-color is going to be fine. We're not a super color-intensive deck at all, really. Just the Noyandar. So, yeah. Fertile Thicket. Take it and play it. Okay. I'm fine taking Focus here. So our deck needs more creatures, like I said. I guess you can kind of count Exert Influence as a creature. You can absolutely count Encircling Fissure and Coastal Discovery as creatures, so we're really running like 9. I'm still pretty hesitant to call Adverse Conditions creatures. Getting a 1/1 for 4 mana is hardly a creature, but we'll take the Focus for now. Focus definitely works well with the Noyandar. Brood Butcher wheeling here is pretty absurd. I would say that tells me no one's in black-green. I don't think anybody who was considering playing black-green would consider passing Brood Butcher. There's no way that they could presume that they would wheel Brood Butcher. So I don't think hating it here is going to be necessary for that reason. It does tell me someone could very easily shift into those colors, but we're actually going to take the Great Horn because we're in need of creatures, and I think it's good for us. We're going to hate the Eyeless Watcher here. I don't think I want or need a Devastator. I could take Dispel for sideboard, but to be honest, I don't think I've ever sideboarded into Dispel, maybe once or twice. I'd rather just hate an Eyeless Watcher. It's just a really powerful, one of the best green commons there is. All right, I guess we can take Retreat. I don't like Kitesail Scout. I don't think it's good enough, even though it has evasion. It's an evasive 1-drop. I just don't like it. Retreat, that chance we play it, pretty unlikely though. Neither of these cards matter. All right. So into pack 3, we really don't need that many cards. I'd like to lower my curve slightly. So looking for more flyers, more Shadow Gliders, Courier Griffins would be nice. Cloud Mantos would do. Sky Spawner is one I neglected to mention, but it's going to be absolutely just perfect for our deck at the moment. Ondu Rising, typically very good in these decks as well, especially alongside Noyandar, but Sky Spawner is just way too much of what our curve needs at the moment and what our deck wants. There's also Evolving Wilds, which would be a fine pick, but Sky Spawner, absolutely the pick here. Well, we get a choice of some very good picks here. We have Encircling Fissure number 2 or Cloud Manta. Kind of tempted to take the Cloud Manta. We definitely want some more skies, right? We've got Glider, Sky Spawner, Griffin, Double Wave Wing, and that's it in terms of flyers. So I think even though it's another 4-drop, I would probably run it over the Great Horn. I guess I'd give a slight edge to the Drone because it gets us to Wave Wing a turn earlier. I'm going to take Cloud Manta over the second Encircling Fissure, even though I do think Fissure is a very powerful spell. We're going to take Cloud Manta here. Okay, Glider, just exactly what our deck wants, exactly what our curve wants. Just a great pickup for us here. So, Reclaimer, we have no means to exile Another Desolation Twin. Is someone going to be running the double Desolation Twin deck? It's kind of scary. Shadow Glider, though, great pickup for us. Hey, Reproach. I almost forgot that our deck has, like, no removal, does it? It's got Combat Tricks for days. We have some removal, but Reproach is just so much better. I actually don't think Coral Helm Guide is the best in a blue-white deck because... I guess because most of your guys evade anyway, but it's a fine 2-drop in that it can trade early, but Reproach is just excellent, so definitely taking that. That's our 22nd card, too. Mist Intruder does fly. We have no processing, though, which just makes it not very well suited for this kind of deck, but Clutch of Currents is excellent, so we'll take it here. Despite the fact that Mist Intruder is good for curving purposes, like I said, having no sort of need for ingesting, I think, makes it not as good here. But I think we're just going to cut the retreat. I'm kind of tempted to cut Combat Tricks, but I'm a little more reluctant to do that running Noyandar. I guess I would prefer to have instants and sorceries than enchantments, especially ones as sort of mediocre or underperforming as Retreat to Coral Helm. But Clutch of Currents, just fine here. Okay, Wavewing Elemental 3 could do it. Otherwise, it's Cliffside Lookout, which is cheap, but I still don't think I really like Cliffside Lookout all that much in this deck. I could run the third Wavewing probably over Greathorn and still be fine. Triple Wavewing does seem a bit excessive, but they're really good. They're really good. And I feel like Greathorn is probably less necessary. All right, I think we're cutting Greathorn, and we are going to try the third Wavewing out. I think that's actually okay. Ghostly Sentinel. This is the first one we've seen. Just an excellent card in general. Certainly excellent for us. Might cut the... I think I'd rather run Tactics over Focus. And yeah, we're still hunting for more creatures, so I'm going to cut the Focus and run the Sentinel here. Which definitely seems good. Alright, I already cut the first Greathorn. I still don't think I need a Lookout. Could just hate a Slide Runner here, which is a nice sort of aggressive card against us. I don't think I'm going to cut anything for Lookout. We do have, I think, 15 creatures if you include Fissure, Clutch, and Discovery, so... We're certainly good on the creature front. I think I'm just going to hate a Slide Runner. Like I said, it's just good against us. I think our deck is weakest against aggressive red-green sort of decks. All right, I'll take a Dispel for sideboard, but like I said, I never really sideboard into it. All right, second Sandstone Bridge, taking it, playing it. Don't need an Inspired Charge, so... Sandstone Bridge seems good. Ooh, Drone number 2. Now, Drone number 2 might actually be worth playing over something else. I'll figure that out in a sec here, I guess, when we get to deck construction. All right, I'm going to hate a Focus from someone else, and I guess there's a chance I sideboard into them, but not super likely. All right, we'll take the charge. I don't think I'm going to play it, though. Devastator, sure. And this thing. Okay. Well, we only need to make one cut. I think our deck looks excellent. I still would like to run Exert Influence. I think I'm just going to run one Fertile Thicket, though. I'm not even going to run... although I could run Fertile Thicket and like a black mana. That might actually be worth it for Exert Influence. What that does is... it doesn't disrupt my mana base too much. We got very lucky and just do not have a color-intensive... we really don't have a color-intensive deck in any way, shape, or form at all. So running 18 lands, although with the spawning bed, that could pose some issues. But my thinking was if I run Fertile Thicket in one other color, I could potentially get a 4 converged Exert Influence, which is super strong. Let me think about that, actually. Let's make our cut first, because we're absolutely running 18 lands. So I would prefer my cut to be on the high end, but I would also prefer it to not be a creature. I'm pretty tempted to actually cut one of our adverse conditions. I think that Yeah, I think I'm actually okay with that. Our removal of Clutch of Currents, Reproach, Coils, one adverse, Exert Influence, I think is going to be good enough. So, yeah, if I run it like this, what kind of mana base can I hope to have if I run all of these lands? So this is 5 lands. We have 2 white already. 2 white already. I could have 8 and 7, and I guess you can kind of count Fertile Thicket as both. I'm pretty tempted to run it like this. Running 2 lands that are not on color for 1 card could pose an issue. But at the same time, considering there's just no double color spells besides the Noyandar, but no double color outside of Noyandar, which is in, our both our main colors anyway, I think just really makes it so much less dangerous to do this. And having 7 white sources for our basically 7, 8 white spells, I think I'm gonna risk it. We're gonna basically run 7 white, 8 blue, and see if we can get away with it. I feel like we can, but we'll see if the deck can do it for us. So, like I said, Fertile Thicket kind of counts as blue and white too. It really doesn't, but it almost, obviously I don't know the percent chance, but there's got to be a high percent chance that it's going to find us or our blue and white mana when we need it. So, all right, very exciting, cool looking deck. Really thematically came together very nicely. We'll see how this runs. Playing it like this, we'll see you round 1.